Hi again, dragonflies. How is everybody doing today? I really hope you're all well. Welcome and welcome back, of course, if you have been here before. I've got a few kind of videos in the pipeline I've wanted to do. I was really in the mood to do something a little bit lighthearted and fun today. And I found a few weeks back the perfect VR for this. And I've only just got around to doing it. And this is the tag Show Us Your Backs. And this is by the lovely Ravneet at Winds of Reflection. And Ravneet describes the backs of our cards as the unsung heroes of our decks. And you know, that's a way I'd never thought about it. And I realised when I was sort of preparing to do this tag, I don't remember a lot of the backs of my decks. And I don't know if that's a bad thing or not. I kind of feel a bit guilty about that. So actually this was a really good tag to do. Unless the backs have really annoyed me, which I know you've seen in a couple of my previous videos. There are a couple of decks where, yeah, they do. I've just become a little bit peeved about the backs. But that aside, they certainly don't inform whether I buy a deck or not, and they certainly don't inform whether I choose to work with a deck or not. They don't generally, apart from the aforementioned decks, put me off using them. So it was really interesting. I really had to go through every single deck that I own, which is probably why it's taken me so long to get around to doing this video. But here we are. I have made some choices. A couple of them may be a little bit maverick. They are overwhelmingly Oracle decks, interestingly. I don't know what that says. There are a couple of tarot in there, but not many. But yeah, I've really enjoyed doing this. So let's get on to the prompts. We start with the deck with the most gorgeous backs. Oh, I've got a few of these. I ended up with about 6 on the pile until I whittled it down. And I've gone for this one, which is a relatively new one to me. I did show it recently in a video, I think, but I figured that doesn't matter too much at this point because we're looking at the backs. This is the Folklore Oracle by Jada Rose and Hadass Knox. Rock pool deck. It's got this, oh my god, I love the texture on the front of the... Sorry, I don't know why I started singing in my videos. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know where it's come from. So it's got this lovely texture anyway on the guidebook. And look at these backs. They are to die for. I absolutely adore them. They've got these beautiful... Let me get them out of the box and you'll be able to see a bit better. I mean, the whole deck is so beautifully produced. It's got these gorgeous green foiled sides, but we're not kind of... I'll give you a quick little glimpse of the deck itself, which is also absolutely stunning. But as we're not here for those, we're going to look more at the backs. So what I love about these, I really hope my camera is focusing, but I've set it a bit higher up today to see if the stand will stop being quite so wobbly. We shall see. But I hope you can see these properly. If not, I might zoom in on the edit, we'll see. But I love the way it's sectioned, and I'm an absolute sucker for swirly foliage. You know when you doodle when you're sat on the phone to somebody? I doodle like this all the time. This is definitely like one of my phone doodles. In my kind of journaling scrapbook, things look like this. I have loads of little stickers that look like this that go up the sides of pages. The little, is that a strawberry? Yeah, the little strawberry or raspberry there, and the key. It's like, it's giving me Secret Garden vibes, which I have a personal connection with. I won't bore you with that now. But yeah, it's just, they are beautiful. And then you've got the moon in the middle, which you don't necessarily notice straight away, but then when you look more closely you see it. And yeah, I just think, I mean, the whole deck is gorgeous, the production is gorgeous, and the backs are gorgeous, and putting my stand higher up has made zero to no difference really on the wobbliness. But one day I'll get something a little bit more sturdy. Anyway, I'm sorry, I bang on, but that, see, I should put that on the Dilly tarot, Dilly bingo card, shouldn't I? Moans about her camera stand. Tick. Okay, anyway, Folklore Oracle, most beautiful backs. And the next prompt is a back that you would turn into a wallpaper or a fabric. Again, had quite a few on the pile for this. And actually I had an awful lot of my kind of really old styly decks, and my sort of ancient history decks, like the Golden Tarot, the Byzantine Tarot. Yeah, but really, if I'm completely honest with myself, it's the backs from the Magical Herb Oracle by Sherilyn Darcy and illustrated by Dear Dandy. This is another Rockpool deck. And oh my gosh, I would love a wallpaper in these backs. I shall very briefly give a quick flick through. I have shown these before. This is a pre-loved deck. I mean, actually, it's like a little kind of Victorian sample book, doesn't it, where they've been sort of sellotaped in. Yeah, it's a really pretty deck actually for a herbal. I'm not big on sort of plant decks, but it's such a lovely one. But the backs, which is what we're here for, that would make the most stunning wallpaper, would it not? Little bee and the daisies. I'm mad about daisies. Daisies are my favourite flower. I have a real connection with daisies. And just the colour palette. I love the fact that they look a little bit kind of distressed. I just think that would make the most stunning wallpaper. So if there are any wallpaper producers out there who want to have a little chat with Dear Dandy about getting this done as a wallpaper, I will be the first customer there. I think it would make the most gorgeous wallpaper. Yeah, so pretty. So pretty. So yeah, that is my wallpaper stroke fabric. Oh, see, I'd love a dress. I'd have a dress made in that too. I do love like a floral print or a ditzy print, and I would definitely get a dress made in that too. I'd love something lovely and flowy and summery, or like something with longer sleeves I could wear with my DMs. Or yeah, anyway, sorry. Oh, see, this tag's got me really excited about the backs now. It's really cool. Yeah, this is the Magical Herb Oracle, and I would definitely be wearing that print. Okay, the next prompt is, again, one I had a big pile of decks for, the one that feels, the most magical or mysterious. I went through a lot of my witchy decks, yeah, and I've got quite a few, but this one, when I got this one out, I went, oh yeah, it's definitely this. This is the Call of the Morrigan Oracle. Which is by Stephanie Woodfield, Karen Storminger, and the art is by Naomi Cornick. And, you know, tell me that these are not mysterious and magical. I did edge these because as soon as they arrived, they were calling out to be edged. The cards themselves are just so striking and powerful. And I've talked actually a fair bit on one video about how much I love this deck and the guidebook particularly. But again, we are here for the decks, and I mean, how can that not be magical and mystical? If you look at, I mean, we're dealing with Call of the Morrigan for a start, which is obvious. Sorry, I've completely lost my train of thought. I'm so sorry. So we're dealing with the Morrigan, which is magical and mysterious in itself, the theme, but even just down to the sort of shadowy figures in the background, and the ravens and the wolf, and the clouds in the background, the whole thing is just oozing mystery and magic, and I love it. I think they're such awesome, cool decks, and they nearly made it into another prompt. Is it the next prompt? Yeah, they nearly made it into the next prompt, but they fitted magical and mysterious so beautifully that I had to go with that deck for the Feels Magical and Mysterious prompt. So that is, again, the Call of the Morrigan Oracle. I keep looking to see if we've actually got a tarot deck yet, but not quite yet. So our next prompt is a back that you would have printed on a journal or a tote bag. For me, it's most likely to be journal, but I went for another Oracle deck, and I went for this cute one I have again shown recently, but this is A Hare's Odyssey, which is such a sweet little deck about Matlock the hare and his little journey. And I mean, the box in itself is super cute. And this is, sorry, by Phil and Jackie Lovesey. I got this one on Jackie's Etsy store. And oh, the deck itself is adorable. It's absolutely just the cutest little deck. And just so beautifully done, and his little story as he goes through. Oh, I love that card. Yeah, but the backs, they are all the image from the front of the box, which I think is just so adorable and would just make the cutest little journal print. Or I'd like on a hoodie. I'd have that on a hoodie, or yeah, on a bag. I don't really have tote bags, it's not something I use, but definitely on a journal. Can you imagine that on the cover of a journal? And that kind of almost looks like it, you know, the entry into all the things that are inside your journal. And I just love these cards. I love the deck, and these are, do you know what, I know I had a different deck for the most gorgeous backs, but I think these are probably my favourite backs, which is probably why I would have them printed on probably everything if I could, because yeah, it's gorgeous, and actually it's a lovely enough print, I think, to just put on your wall and frame. Even everything about the box is just stunning. This is such a beautifully produced little deck, and I keep saying it, but I will get their other hair deck as well. So that one is the one I would have printed on a tote bag or a journal, or indeed on anything else, and that is A Hare's Odyssey. Okay, the next prompt we finally get a tarot for, and this is the backs that bring you instant calm when you look at them. And I had to go with the Guardian of the Night tarot, because again, see, these nearly made it into my most gorgeous backs slot, because they're just so stunning. Now, I know you will know this deck so well, most of you, so I will just do the usual flick through, particularly as we are not focusing on the front of the cards today. They're so chunky, like I can't fit them all in my little tiny munchkin hands, but so I'm not really doing a great job of showing them to you. It's one of very few animal decks that I have, but I think it's probably one of the best animal decks out there. And MJ Cullinane does the most beautiful backs. The backs for the Enchanted for Hacks are gorgeous as well. Unfortunately, they didn't make it into this video, but these backs are definitely instant calm. Again, we have these, which I love, and I find instantly calming and reassuring that they are here. I love to see them in the garden. We try and leave quite a large portion of our garden as wild as we can for bees and butterflies, and you know, just sitting out there and watching the buzz around the flowers is just the most wonderful thing. It's just so calming. I love the blue colour, which again is a gorgeous calming shade, and the foliage, which I've mentioned before, and the moon, but it's just in this beautiful golden tone. And yeah, they're just beautiful backs, and definitely instant calm when I look at them. I think the colours are just gorgeous. Yeah, I love the cardstock as well. Really, I mean, MJ Cullinane, as far as I'm concerned, cannot produce a bad deck. I'm just obsessed. So, and considering I'm not massive on animal decks, and I like my decks a bit more peoply, as I've said many times, that is a truly stunning deck, which I love. So that is the decks that bring you in, the backs that bring you instant calm, and that is the Guardian of the Night Tarot by MJ Cullinane. And then we move on to, this is such a cool prompt, the Portal to Another World, backs that look like a portal to another world. And again, I had about 3 of these, I think, but I had to go for these, and I'm always conscious that I repeat myself a lot in these videos, or I mention the same things over and over again, as you know, hence the Dilly Bingo card. But I have to mention why I've picked these cards. So I went through a period several years ago of just the worst insomnia you could imagine. And Philly, my father-in-law, for those of you that don't know, that gave me the name Dilly, he would say, well, do you know how I get to sleep at night? And it never fails. I close my eyes and I tell myself a little story. And I'll just show you the cards while I'm telling you the little story. Sorry, I didn't tell you what deck this is. This is the Fairy Forest. This is a Lucy Cavendish deck, and it's Maxine Gadd, the artwork. Yeah, so he says, what I do, he says, is I close my eyes, and I imagine I'm laying underneath a tree, in beautiful sunshine, in the grass. Feel free to use this at bedtime, anyone that needs to. And just kind of starting to feel a bit sleepy. But then you see a little figure out of the corner of your eye. And you start to think, oh, where did it go? And so you get up and you try very carefully and very quietly to follow this little creature. Is it an elf? Is it a pixie? Is it a fairy? Who knows? But you can see it running through the woodland. And you're very carefully, very quietly following. And this goes on for a little while. And then eventually he comes to a tree. So I'm making a hash of this flick through. And when he comes to this tree, you notice that the tree has, what have I done here? It's a good job this isn't like a hypnosis video, because you'd be awake now, wouldn't you? Anyway, yeah, so you notice the tree has a little doorway in it. And this little creature, this little fella, disappears through this doorway. And you're suddenly really disappointed, and you think, well, what am I going to do? But just as you're thinking that you can't follow him, you shrink down Alice in Wonderland style to the size of the doorway. You try the door, and it opens for you. And on the other side of the door, you find a really long stairway, and you can just see towards the bottom of the stairway, a little fella running away in front of you. And so you start to follow him down these stairs. And I could go on, but eventually you get to the bottom of the stairs and you find another doorway. Depending how sleepy you are, you can have another set of stairs, and eventually you open another door into the most beautiful green, lush world, more beautiful than anything you've ever seen before. But Philly always used to say that he never used to really get past the first set of steps before he would fall fast asleep. And so I absolutely had to choose this deck for the backs that look like a portal to another world, because that's Philly's sleep story there. So yeah, that's a little bit of an emotion one, actually. Didn't expect to get like that for this prompt, but you know me, I am the queen of oversharing. But there, anyway, it might help some of you if you do have insomnia to try that little story out. Who knows? I'm here to give. Oh dear. So that's the Fairy Forest, an Oracle of the Wild Green Worlds by Lucy Cavendish, with artwork by Maxine Gadd. Right, moving on. Oh yeah, this was really tricky. So this is a deck that you would gift to somebody based purely on the backs. This was hard because I don't know that I ever would give a deck based solely on the backs. I have gifted a few decks before, but it's always been sort of the theme or the vibe of the deck that matches the person. However, after some thought and a little bit of hunting, we're on a similar theme to the last one. This is the Fairy Temple Oracle by Susie Cherub, which I think is one of those beautiful names, and Christine Caron. And whilst a Fairy Temple deck is not going to be for everybody, the reason I've chosen this one is because the backs are absolutely chock full of clovers, and in the centre is one great big, or as we say on the Isle of Wight, gert big, one great big 4-leafed clover. And you know, if I can gift something which brings luck to somebody that I care about, then I am going to do that, and that is why I have chosen those backs as gifts. I will give you a quick little sneak peek. These are, do you know what, I keep forgetting how lovely these are. Yeah, they're lovely cards. I don't know why I don't really use these. Why I don't get called to use these. Maybe I've just got too many fairy oracles. And that could be... Oh, it might have been just because this guy kept popping up and it started to put me off a little bit. I don't know. Oh, I don't know. It is lovely, but maybe it's just because it's just a little bit too kind of... I don't know. Perfect, if you like, and sort of Instagram style fae. I don't know. Yeah, but it is a lovely deck actually, and I do think I need to use it more, but it's certainly not one I would gift based on the theme or the artwork, but absolutely the backs, because of the lucky 4-leafed clover. I think that if I was basing it solely on the backs, then that would be my choice, the Fairy Temple Oracle. Okie dokie, so moving on, we have the back design that surprised you most in a good way. Now, I'm really glad that Ravneet sort of specified in a good way, because otherwise the decks I didn't mention earlier, but that I alluded to earlier, would be coming out. So this has surprised me in the sense that it's literally surprised me today. This is the Witching Hour Oracle by Laurie Anderson. Now, you may be familiar with the Seasons of the Witch series of oracles and planners, etc. And I love all of those decks. I own all of those decks and a couple of Lorianne's books. And so you can understand that this seemed like a no-brainer to me, this particular deck. But it is illustrated by Olivia Berkey. And I was really excited about getting this deck, but I haven't used it because I was kind of disappointed. I just didn't connect with it. So when I was looking at decks for this particular prompt and VR, I almost dismissed it. I almost didn't pick it up because I thought, oh, I don't connect with that deck. I'm sure that that's not got backs that I'd be including in this. So yeah, I probably won't, but something made me pick it up, and I'm glad I did, because actually, giving it a second look, it's made me look at it again, and actually maybe I'm feeling a little bit differently about it now. Oh, do you know, I might be. Yeah, I might be starting to feel a little bit differently about this. But anyway, the backs, which is what we're here for, as I keep saying, are really, really pretty. I actually really love the backs, and I so nearly didn't pick this deck up for this VR. I so almost dismissed it, but they're really, really pretty. And do you know what? I would totally have that printed on something. I can see that on a t-shirt, or on a bag or a journal. It's beautiful with the moon phases and the moths, and yeah, it's really, really gorgeous. And I can't believe that I was going to overlook this deck and go, no, it won't be that one. It obviously went, no, me. Look at me. You're making a mistake, Dilly. And yeah, I'm glad I got this deck out again. A, because the backs really did surprise me. I'd completely forgotten the backs, and they are surprisingly beautiful. And do you know what? I think this deck does need another look from me. I'm starting to feel a little bit differently about it. Now, whether that is because of the backs, I don't think so. I think maybe just sometimes they don't initially click, do they? And then you get them out again and something does. So I'm quite grateful for that, actually. So yeah, that is the deck with backs that surprised me, and that is the Witching Hour Oracle. Moving swiftly on. Right, I've definitely done a dilly on the next couple, I'm afraid. But Ravneet did choose 2 decks for one of her prompts, so I'm going to take it that that's going to be okay. The backs that are most like you, or I guess most reflect you, because I'm sort of have lots of weird and wonderful sides to myself, I couldn't just choose one deck. So I have chosen 2, which reflect 2 sides of me. 2 of probably the more sort of prominent sides of me. And they are the Tree Keeper's Oracle. This is written by Angie Sullins with artwork by Stephanie Law, and the Tarot of Light and Shadow by my absolute favourite John Matthews and Andrea Aste. Now, I will start with this one. This one is my nature-loving pagan magical side. This is my sort of gentle side, I guess. It's a beautiful, beautiful deck. I am very much thinking that I'm gonna probably look at pairing it with the Shadowscapes Tarot, did I say? In August, maybe. Because I think it's a nice, really lovely, gentle little deck. Again, it's got this gorgeous gilding, but the backs have got, oh, they're just so cute. They've got the fox and birds and butterflies and the tree, and then you can sort of see, I'm really hoping you can see this properly because the lighting in here, I didn't put my ring light on because it tends to bounce off the cards, but I am filming this in the evening and I don't know if it's a bit low light, but we'll hope for the best. But it's almost kind of got little cogs and workings inside the tree, which I think is just magical, giving that real sort of feeling that, you know, they are the thing that is our life's blood. They are the thing that is constantly working away. And yeah, that's my kind of love of nature, and yeah, that's the pagan soul side of me. And then we have the information junkie side of me, or the history nerd side of me, in the backs of the Tarot of Light and Shadow. So this gives you, if you haven't seen this before, I have shown it briefly before, but this is the images remind me of kind of Bayer tapestry, really. And you have two decks. You have obviously your shadow deck and your light deck, but the backs are both the same, so that you can mix the decks, which I haven't yet been brave enough to do. But yeah, I don't know why I've got them all out, actually. I know all the backs are the same, but again, I hope you can see them. I just love that there's so much going on in these backs. I love all the buildings and the detail and the intricacy of this. I love the figure and all of the little bits they're holding, the swords, and I just, yeah, and it's, like I say, it's got that real kind of Bayer tapestry, really old medieval engraving kind of vibe to it, which is, yeah, that's definitely a bit of me. So I had to go with those two decks, really. I couldn't separate them because they both show two different sides of me. But can I get them back in? Can I? No. Well, yes, there we go. Right, so anyway, yeah. So the decks that are most like me, the Tree Keeper's Oracle and the Tarot of Light and Shadow. And then we go on to the final prompt, which again I found really, really difficult. These are backs that deserve more love and attention. That was really tricky, because actually I think all of my backs deserve more love and attention, clearly, because I could barely remember any of them when I was preparing for this video. So I literally probably could pick any deck for this. So I've gone a little bit rogue, I'm afraid, on this, and I've kind of changed the prompt just a wee teeny bit. And I have chosen a deck that I think the backs probably needed more love and attention at the time of creation. That may be a slightly controversial one, and I don't want to be negative in this video, so I'm going to try not to be too negative. That's why I didn't get out the aforementioned decks. And I've gone instead, I've actually got a tarot again here, and I've gone for the Woodland Fairy Tale Tarot. This is, I'm going to start and end on positives with this, because I think that's, you know, that's important, and also this is supposed to be a fun tag. This is the most beautifully produced deck. It really is gorgeous. I love the box with the little magnetic thingy. I love the way it opens. I like the inside. I love the guidebook. Honestly, the production values on this deck are right up there. And then, again, I know this really bugs some people, that it's got a box within a box. But I've said this before, I quite like it. I like the idea that I have the choice, and and this could fit into a little pouch in that box if I wanted it to. But yeah, as I say, the production values on this deck are really stonking. They are right up there. And the artwork is really, really pretty. The colours are really vivid and vibrant. It's got really nice cardstock, a bit shiny maybe for me, but yeah, gorgeous cardstock. So as I say, everything about this deck is just stunning, and I love it. And the backs certainly are not ever going to put me off using it. However, for a deck that is so well produced and is so beautiful in every other way, the backs are just really disappointing, and it's probably just me, but they definitely, I think, maybe they just saw that everything else was so vibrant that the backs needed to be super plain so as not to detract from the card fronts. Maybe, I get that, but I just think that, like I say, for a deck with such incredible production values, I don't know if I'm contradicting myself here, because I don't know when I've shown this before whether I've said I actually like the backs, but it was literally just a case of looking through the decks again tonight and going, actually, they could have done more. And I think that they feel a bit like an afterthought, honestly, the backs, and that's probably a bit mean, but wouldn't it have been gorgeous if they'd done this? If they'd just put this little grouping on the back of each card? I think that would have been stunning. I don't know. It may just be me, and I am sure that there are people out there right now going, oh my god, Dilly, no. What are you saying? Stop. Everything about the deck is beautiful. Don't diss the backs. And I'm not dissing them, because actually, you know, I think maybe the choice was made because everything else is so vibrant. Maybe the thought was that would have been too much, but you know, I'm a great believer in, as you could probably guess, that you know, there's no such thing as too much. You know, you can tell from the way I do my videos that over the top is one of my being over the top is one of my qualities, shall we say. But yes, I do think the backs could have done with a little bit more love and attention, because the deck is just so beautifully produced. I love this deck, and whilst it won't stop me using them, I think that they possibly could have been given a little bit more love and attention in the production process, or in the design process. Okay, so there we are. That is my response, or my responses to Ravneet at Winds of Reflection. Please go and check out Ravneet's channel if you haven't already. If you can bear to, it would be great to get some likes and subscribes. Subscribes? Is that even a word? I don't know anymore. It's late in the evening. I've lost the ability to, you know, understand words, or indeed use them now, apparently. Anyway, so before I completely fail to make any sense, although we may be at that point already, I shall love you and leave you. And do take care, dragonflies. I will hopefully see you very soon.